federal government says it will relaunch its program of direct cash transfers to benefit 12 million Nigerians as it aims to tackle the current economic hardship in the country. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Wale Edun, disclosed this during the ministry's retreat in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State on Wednesday. According to the minister, the project, which was initially created for 3 million Nigerian people, has been extended to more than 12 million citizens. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale is here to discuss this next phase of Tinubu's social intervention plan, the likely impact on the economy, and how to ensure the equitable distribution of funds among the vulnerable in the country. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure being here, Suja.
Of course. Now, what analysts are saying is that overall the impact depends heavily on the program design, size of transfers, delivery mechanisms, and complementing the cash with other social services and development programs. So what would you like to see in order to make sure that all these are considered when it's being distributed?
It should all be considered. And in addition, authentication and safe delivery, safe and correct delivery to the beneficiaries. It is crucial. It is crucial. The size, the size varies. Before, I think it was 35,000. Now, I think maybe they're talking of 75,000 to about 12 million households. But what is important to me is the authentication and the delivery. You see, the plan is lofty, and anyway, we have done it before. We did it before during the Buhari regime. So it's not as if we are inventing the wheel. There's something on the ground to follow. But the delivery is what matters. And I think we should look at our environment and understand our ecological problems in terms of population distribution. You see, if you are distributing this sort of thing in the north, the level of illiteracy is high there. Not many people have bank accounts. Not many people are even literate to vote, although we all assume that they are always voting in the north. So you need to bring in some institutions. You want to be pragmatic to ensure that the money gets to those who are really vulnerable. We must involve some social institutions, religious institutions, places where they frequent, especially, in the north, Fridays people go to the mosque. They have the imams, they have the preachers there. I'm not talking of the preachers that radicalize people against society, because those ones are there too. And you must know that Boko Haram is still there. So you will not be paying money to Boko Haram recruits while you are saying you want to. So in the north, we take that into cognition in planning how to get the money out. In the south, most people have accounts. Those who are working, they are paid through, their companies have wage bill through which they pay them. So we should involve in the south, in the east, in the southeast. Yes, the level of education is high. You can use national identity numbers, BVN, liaise with the banks, even the employers. You get me? Maybe the natural, we have this, the Nigerian Employers Association, Nigerian Manufacturers Association. They have wage bills. They have people working for them. You see, that is why this thing is called a social net. If you make sure that that net is not broken, so that the money gets missing. Because the plans are there. The last minister who our problem was that she paid it to a private account. Otherwise, the plans were there to move the money. And then, don't let us dwell on that. I think government should push the ministries in order, you get me, to ensure that they look at all the sociological components of delivery so that the money gets to the right people. and not get missing along the road. That's my own for now.
I'd like to ask you to put your economic cap on for two minutes while I ask my question, which is that, you know, the macroeconomic impact of injecting this amount of cash into the system during this period that we're going through. If we're working with a figure of 75,000 per family, 12 million households, you're looking at about 900 billion. So that's almost $1 trillion that's being injected into the economy in cash. What does this do to inflation? Because textbook economics says that this creates inflationary pressure, right? So are we moving in the right direction?
You are moving in the right direction. You are looking in the wrong direction. Get me? Inflation and this, they are mutually exclusive. They are mutually exclusive. You know, it's like we are in an emergency. Do you get me? I was reading some piece on the European Union the other time. And I was saying it yesterday too. When Russia invaded Ukraine and cut gas to Europe, they put subsidies in place, 2022. Even just this week, they are extending those subsidies. They called it temporary crisis and transition strategy. You see, although they don't have problem with inflation, but you see, the inflation, the government is making an attempt to reduce inflation. That step is on. But it can exist mutually exclusively of this. This is an emergency. So you can't take the two together. Get me? You have compassion. If you want to be a policeman, you are a policeman. If you want to be compassionate,
we have to pick a struggle.
It's like it's a relief program. Even the EU, they call it temporary crisis and transition. What they call transition is that those people who are transiting to clean energy, you get me? They give them debt relief, they lower taxes for them, and they give them subsidies. But yeah, they hold the dagger, something to our head when we say we want to put subsidies in place. In the paper today, they said the National Assembly rejected the plea by the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission to raise tariffs. That is how it should be. You see? That is how it should be. What the National Assembly has done is out. That is part of even a relief measure. Get me? To get people. If the highly developed people in Europe who brought this weird strategy, economic strategy, if they are putting strategies, subsidies in place, why can't we do it? It's to help our people. Then we balance our books later. But for God's sake, let us get this money to the right targets at their shortest possible time. That is our priority now.
No, Mr. Sobowale. More on inflation, though. You know, it's being said that a large influx of cash into the economy risks causing inflation if production cannot keep up with demand. Hence, monetary market prices will be important. Of course, I did see an update that the president is set to sign executive orders to bring down cost of medicines. Gestures like this to bring some relief. But my question is that in the end, all these are still reactive. These are reactive. So what? And I know it's important because there's an emergency on ground. But what do we also need to see happening concurrently while this is going on in order to make sure that this is not something that we latch on to for too long?
Look, you lack confidence in all the strategies. That is your problem.
I do, because it's not working.
Look, what I was going to say after your lengthy question, maybe you should have gone to the retreat going on in New York.
No, I wasn't invited.
Because they are doing something to elevate. That's the Ministry of Finance, Incorporated. They're having a retreat there. And that was where the Minister of Finance spoke. You get that they're trying to stabilize the economy, and that the measures they are taking will eventually stabilize the economy. So you should not ask questions in a vacuum. Some things are being done. That's what even Gawan said, that people should give this presidency time to work out things. Because we got into this mess a long time ago. And all things being equal, we should get out of it. You get me? But what I'm interested in are those things that I've narrated, that we look at our demographics, we look at the level of education in various geopolitical areas, we look at the cultural components, and find ways and means peculiar to each area to ensure that this palliatives, this money, gets into the right accounts and the right hands. That's all.
Mr. Sobowale, when you use the term ways and means, some people get nervous. But thank you. I know the context. That's a different context. Mr. Dayo Sobowale, thank you so much.